Got the Boss fitted. Put this for the snap-on steering wheel. It's front one drilled. Now doing this back one. I drilled as well. Seat and wheel are in. Seat's bolted to the slide rails. We've got good clearance from the roof. It's close but it doesn't touch. I'll put the seat as low as it will go now. It is a nice position. Slide rails work perfectly. Slide it all the way forward and I'm too close. Slide it all the way back, I'm too far back. That's the sort of adjustment that I want. Steering wheel's on the quick release thingy majiggy, which is good for when I'm working on it, and obviously good when you've got a bucket seat so you'd have to squeeze in and out. So yeah, I think we can have a little look now at where we're going to mount the hydro, because I haven't got any rear brake lines in at the moment, or even front brake lines, and I'm going to run the rear brake master cylinder through the hydro, so I can't do rear brakes until I've done the hydro. It's going to go around it. Right, so that's about where I want the hydro. A little bit further forward, but yeah, about there. Basically, I like, when I'm driving, I like having the hydro in view, just next to my left hand, you know, ready to grab. But then I don't want to be putting my hand over. Some people have it over here, like on the left side of the gearbox tunnel, and they're literally driving and then going over here and grabbing and then coming back. I want to be doing as little movement, you know, no more than 5-6 inches away from the steering wheel, back onto the steering wheel. So it's like a tiny little grab, tug to back on. And I like having it in my point of view, so when I'm driving I can still see it in the corner of my eye, where, you know, if it's off down here, you're on your gear stick, you're hard shifting, and you're trying to find your fucking hydro when you're coming into a corner a little bit too fast. You want to scrub a little bit, speed it, keep your angle. You're trying to find your hydro, and you're fucking, you know, it's just a bit of there's not much time to react. So, and I ain't very experienced, so it's good to have it easy to find rather than having to find it at the same time as trying to drive. My only issue is obviously my stock handbrake is in the way at the moment. I want to keep my stock handbrake because I need it. You need a ratchet mechanism handbrake to pass an MOT. So I need to figure out how I can keep that here and fit that in that place. I'll probably put the gear selector in 5th. Is that right? Yeah, so 3rd, 5th. So I know now that that my shifter is nowhere near my hydro, which is what you want. You don't want to be catching your hands on stuff when you're shifting. I will cut this guard off the handbrake and see how much room I've got to play with. It might sit all in quite nicely. I might be able to adjust the ratchet and like sit it on top of it, but we'll have a look. Well, I thought this was going to be slightly difficult to do, but it looks actually mega easy. So that's how it's sitting now, and I want it to sit here because that will be enough clearance, but I don't want it to be there and have tension on. So I've slackened off. Can't see this, can't really see it, but there's a nut there for the cable, so I've slackened it off very slightly. And then here is the micro switch for the handbrake, and also basically how it sits. So that's its set position basically. So I want the set position to be there. If I put a bolt, if I put a nut in between the stop, it moves it in exactly the right position. So basically, if this is back where I want it, about there-ish, I've got a nice bit of clearance on the handbrake. Yeah, that's basically where I want it. This will obviously sit a bit further up, a bit like that. This will sit there. It doesn't touch, it doesn't foul. Lines are clear for banjos to fit in. Won't touch my seat. Right, there's the little nut tacked on. Both sides. You can see it. down, sits in place perfect. Comes off the micro switch and the base position. So yeah, that's all done. Like literally 2 little tacks. That's all we need. Alright, so with it in this position, if I release the handbrake, that's it all the way down. It doesn't foul. Brake on. Be about this sort of position. That's how it's going to sit, but that's how I want it. And the fitting's going to be close to my leg, but not to the point where they're touching ever. Little banjos will go straight off there. I'll drill a hole, feed some hydraulic lines to the rear brakes. Just working out the positioning of the plates that I've made. So a little bit of angle iron. It's going to be welded onto, basically it'll be like that, but further back here where it's flat. So here I have to put a mark on about where the hole is, which is here. So as long as it's like around about here, and then work out how much I need it to stick out there like that. Slice it, drill it. Job's a good one. There's the rear right one in, welded in, and then I'm just going to do a front left. Right, the front is bolted in, the rear right is bolted in. Plates are both welded onto the tunnel. It is proper solid in there now, which is what you want for a hydro. You want minimal flex. I've shortened my shaft on my slave cylinder so I can bolt this back in now, and we'll see what it looks like. The hydro has been fitted. It's fully fitted now. I've set the length so it's just clear in this. I could adjust it more if I wanted to, but I don't. It clears my handbrake. Handbrake doesn't get caught, and it's nice and close to my steering wheel. Perfect.